Hi, perfect. Hi, welcome. Good morning. We'll quickly roll on to the webinar schedule for the day on financial modeling. Just put up the screen so that it is visible at your end. Yeah, perfect. Good morning once again. Welcome to this webinar on financial modeling. We are going to talk about the utility of financial modeling as a skill in today's corporate world, and what does it add in terms of value to your existing profiles, or if you're trying to build a career into investment banking sort of profiles. Now, when you're looking at into financial modeling, EduPristine does offer you a certification on financial modeling, which is in collaboration with Bombay Stock Exchange. So that's I think one thing that you should be aware about, that this is in collaboration with Bombay Stock Exchange, which they have a independent arm, which is the BSc Institute that offers trainings, and this program is pretty much in collaboration with them here. Now, what are the things that are going to covered or that are typically covered under this program, and how does that benefit you from an individual perspective? I think that's where we are trying to focus upon for the next half an hour or so. Now, when you say financial modeling, obviously one of the most important skill sets nowadays that you need as an individual in the finance industry. And when I say in the finance industry, I'm largely looking at it from the perspective of financial, investment banking, corporate finance profiles, mergers and acquisition profile. If you're looking for advisory related roles, fairly important that you have a pretty good handle on financial modeling. Uh, what is financial modeling per se? Obviously, a process in which you are going to build financial models. Okay. Oh, give me 1 minute. I am just missing out on my camera. Let me just switch that on quickly for you. Here is. Okay, perfect. I guess this would help. I'll just structure this as such. Yep. Did I miss on something? Okay, so bear with me for just a minute. Let me just set up my alternate screen while I'm talking to you. It's important that I get this straight. So I just share it again. Okay, perfect. I think the screen is up and running. I'll put it on share again for you. Yep, good. Yep. So we were discussing about financial modeling, and one of the most important skill sets nowadays, if you're trying to work in the field of finance, core finance profiles, specifically excluding obviously accounting. We are not typically looking at an accounting profile if you are looking for financial modeling as a skill set. Uh, Financial modeling will entail two key components. One, obviously, you should have the financial acumen or the knowledge related to financial statements, related to evaluations, mergers and acquisition, which is covered through the course. And along with that knowledge, which is more or less theoretical in nature, you have to compile that knowledge or combine that knowledge with Excel to create a fully integrated financial model. So financial modeling, in a way, you can say, is an amalgamation of financial concepts which are implemented using an Excel sheet to create fully integrated financial models. Why do you need these models? Why do you need to create these financial models? The financial models are typically required to analyze a lot of things. Now, that could be an analysis from a credit perspective, that could be an analysis from an investment perspective, that could be an analysis from a mergers and acquisition perspective. So, any role in finance, most of us do understand Excel becomes the bread and butter for a lot of professionals. And if you have a very good hand on Excel, that actually gives you more time to do analysis, for which a lot of companies would pay you as well. So, in couple of words, as I said, financial modeling is Excel plus finance implemented on a more practical skill level rather than being completely theoretical. Used across sectors. As you see on the slide, it's used across sectors. So whether you are into investment banking, equity research, mergers and acquisition, corporate finance, a lot of roles offered by top audit firms also need financial modeling, because a lot of these audit firms now are offering advisory services. And if you're part of the advisory team, you are again catered, or you're again looking towards financial modeling from that perspective. The next thing that comes to mind, what prerequisites should you have if you are trying to enroll for this course? And let me just set up the prerequisites slide here. Give me a minute. Let me just set this up. Slide is visible, right? I don't know why this is not moving at my end. Is it visible? Yeah, I think now it's visible at my end as well. Okay, so what is the minimum eligibility criteria that we are looking at it from the skill perspective or from the course perspective? Obviously, bachelor degree, or if you are in your final year of graduation, I think that should be good for you to enroll for this program. Uh, in finance, a lot of people don't focus upon on the soft skills, but it's extremely important that you have good communication and writing skills, because if you're struggling on those aspects, it would be fairly difficult for you to communicate the output of your financial models. Please remember, Excel is just a tool, and any output that you have on Excel, you will have to obviously present it. So generally, an analyst is required to write reports. You don't share Excel sheets, because Excel sheets are typically confidential material. So that's intellectual property, and we typically don't end up sharing those Excel sheets. Students who have a basic understanding or a working knowledge on Microsoft Excel, I think that's an added advantage if you are enrolling for the program, because you already start at, let's say level 2, level 3. In case you don't have any understanding on Microsoft Excel, the course is designed to offer you a working understanding on Microsoft Excel. So we start with classes, or a couple of sessions where you are looking at Microsoft Excel basics. And as you move throughout the course, the entire course is modeled on Excel, right? So there's nothing which would be, or there would be no class where you only be reading theory. Everything would be modeled on Excel, and which is why throughout the course you will be keep improving your Excel skills along with your finance skills. Who should join this course? As I've already said, if you're looking for a career into investment banking, project management, equity research, business strategy planning, private equity, banking, you should join this. That makes it very easy for me to put out who should not join the course. If you are trying to get into, let's say, software roles, let's say you want to get into a business analyst role after doing a finance program, I think not a lot of value addition. A lot of people look for the business analyst roles. I think no major value add from the course perspective. uh, and along with that, if you are trying to look towards the accounting related roles, or specifically core audit or taxation work, it would be difficult to apply the course to a large extent, so it would not add a lot of value there. But yes, does add value to core finance roles which are witnessed around you. Post completion of the course, you will have to write an examination, and that examination would be administered by EduPristine in collaboration with Bombay Stock Exchange, which would enable you to get a certification which offered by the Bombay Stock Exchange Institute. So an examination after the course. Let's talk about what is covered during the course. So on a everyday basis, day one, as I said, starts with basic Excel. So you try and understand what Excel is, what are the key tools, utilities, functions, how do you set up a template on Excel? And I think that's what the core area of day one is. So day one is sort of a warm up before you head into day two onwards, which would be a much more extensive exercise in terms of financial modeling. So day one, you would be typically focusing upon basic Excel and learning a lot of Excel tricks and tools which will be useful from day two onwards. That brings us to day two, three, four. Day two, three, and four will be a case study on valuations, right? So the course starts with a business valuation case study. You would be valuing a company. Obviously, throughout the process on day two, three, and four, you would be valuing it on a financial model, or creating a financial model to value the company. When you have to value a company, you have to put up a lot of inputs into it, right? So you have to build all the three statements: P&L, balance sheet, cash flow, to value the business. Assumptions related to forecast, which will relate to cost structures, revenue structures, cost of capital, debt schedule, asset schedules, interest estimates, working capital schedules. So everything which is needed to create a three statement model would be done on day 2, 3, and 4. So when you go through that day 2, 3, and 4 procedure, you start learning how to make a model, and you also learn valuation techniques such as a discounted cash flow method and relative valuation techniques. Important, if you're doing a business valuation, you know how to do a valuation. Only a P&L, balance sheet, cash flow would not suffice. So the 3 days also teach you valuation techniques and helps you implement those techniques using a case study uh, uh, on FMCG sector specifically, for you to move through that 3 days of training. So cumulatively, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 should span over 20 odd hours, and every day is 5 hour classes, obviously. So 20 odd hours for you to complete one valuation case study. This will take you from module 1 to day 5 and 6, which would be project finance. So start adding flavors from valuation to project finance, because eventually if you end up into a project finance industry, business valuations may not be important or maybe a small part of the exercise, but you may be more doing project valuations. So day 5 and 6 focus on project valuation and more from an infrastructure perspective, because project finance is a core activity on an infrastructure end of the economy. So 5 and 6 would cover infrastructure case study, again modeled on Excel. You will learn key concepts associated with IDC, such as interest during construction, how to tackle circular references in your model, uh, distribution between sponsors of a project. So you will typically have, let's say, a financial sponsor and a service partner. So financial partner and a service partner. And how are you going to distribute cash between the two partners? Right? Very simple. If you take an example, there is a Taj GVK, right? Where Taj Group of Hotels run the hotels in Hyderabad, and GVK is the financial partner where they provide the land to construct those hotels as such. So Taj is the hospitality partner, and GVK is the real estate partner in that collaboration or joint venture. So how does the cash flow move between these two parties, or between any party for that matter? So understanding that part, working on a lot of date related functions would be the concept covered on 5 and 6, because dates are extremely critical when you are looking into project finance. Any delay in any activity in a project finance uh, leads to subsequent delays in all steps forward. So how do you tackle that delay? How do you incorporate that delay into your models? So day 1, Excel. Day 2, 3, 4 would be evaluation case studies, very useful from an equity research investment banking perspective. Day 5 and 6, project finance. If you're specifically trying to join, infrastructure companies in the corporate finance departments, or if you're trying to work with real estate companies in corporate finance department, investment banks such as SBI Capital Markets does a lot of work on infra. So day 5 and 6 should be useful from that perspective. We changed the flavor on day 7 and 8. Day 7 and 8 entirely talk about mergers and acquisition. Again, a very integral part of investment banking if you are looking into mergers and acquisition. What is mergers and acquisition? What is a cash deal? What is a stock deal? What is a EPS accretive deal? EPS dilutive deal? Control premiums, synergies. So we cover that, cover the entire theory of mergers and acquisition along with the modeling on the 2 days. So 7 and 8 again would be Excel case study that you would be catering to, and modeling merger and acquisition concepts using those case studies. Could be an IT sector case study from US or India. We have a few case studies, and depends which one you would be getting in that particular 2 days. So M&A related modeling, a lot of roles offered across India on M&A profiles, entry level roles, target screening roles are available under boutique investment banks also. So the valuations that you will learn on day 2, 3, 4 will be a very helpful tool for day 7 and 8, because before you buy or sell a company, you should know what is the value of the company, right? So day 7 and 8 will typically give you that uh, uh, mergers and acquisition theory and financial model applications. Day 9 and 10 would again revisit financial models, and specifically from a valuation angle. Now, this is where we pick up a globally listed company, right? And we model or create a valuation for that globally listed company. So day 2, 3, 4 is a hypothetical company that you would be working on from to begin with your valuation case studies or financial models. Day 9 and 10 is when we would be specifically focusing upon modeling a publicly listed entity, so a real life company, and applying all the methods that you have learned on day 2, 3, 4, such as a discounted cash flow method, and add one more method to it, which is a DDM valuation, a dividend discount model valuation. Once again, you will go through the process of creating balance sheets, profit and loss statements, and setting up a valuation. Key thing is, when you are valuing a publicly listed company across the globe, you will have to obviously go through the financial data available in the market, right? So there are a lot of financial information available publicly, and you would be taught how to browse through that information, how to read, annual statements, and pull out relevant information from a valuation perspective. So this would be a publicly listed company that you would be valuing, and a case study which would again span over 2 days on Excel sheet for you to capture this. Day 11, macros, introduction to macros. Day 12 would be implementation of a lot of these macros, and advanced techniques such as Monte Carlo simulations that could be used. So 11 and 12 are dedicated typically to advanced financial modeling. Module 2 is what starts from day 11 and 12. And when you're looking at module 2, which is advanced financial modeling, you are starting off with macros, considered a bit more advanced, because you will have to write visual basic programs. So you would be taught how to use macros. In case there is something which is a repetitive task, macros can do that quick and fast for you. So what is macros? How do you use them? What is the utility in Excel from a macro perspective? And then how do you apply these macros for certain activities that you will need from a day-to-day perspective? So 11 and 12 would be talking about one of the most advanced things on Microsoft Excel, which is macros or visual basic macros. Day 13 is dedicated to charts. Any any analysis that you do, you will obviously have to present that, and charts is one of the best ways to present a lot of financial data. So radar charts, football charts, Waterfield, Gantt, MECO, and along with that, there would be a lot of other charts such as uh, there would be histograms that are typically covered under this particular class. So day 13 is dedicated entirely to charts with the new versions of Excel. And if you have those on your systems, you can obviously design some beautiful charts, such as donut charts. I don't know how many of you have done donut charts, or you can do riskometers. If you've seen riskometers on mutual funds, you can design those using Microsoft Excel. So I think those are the things that typically show up on day 13. Day 14 is advanced Excel again. So we have started with Excel, and day 1 was Excel, and we'll close obviously with we'll close obviously with day 14 again on advanced Excel. Uh, a few functions which are extremely advanced would be covered on day 14, and this would include functions such as indirect, extremely important and useful function. Just to give you a background on a function like indirect, if you do a task in 6 hours of linking things in Excel sheet, I can do the same thing in 5 minutes. If I increase the amount of work that I give you, and if you have to do that task in 12 hours, right, I will still do that in 5 minutes if I know the indirect function. That is the amount of efficiency that we are trying to build on day 14 advanced Excel functions. Indirect functions, goal seek functions, solver functions, array functions such as transpose, uh, index functions, offset functions. A lot of these are advanced tools, useful, and if you know them, you will spend significantly less amount of time on Excel and perhaps put more time on your analysis aspects. So day 14 is about advanced Excel to close the program. So a 14-day program that takes you from Excel to valuation, from valuation to project finance, mergers and acquisition, back to valuations, macros, charting, and advanced Excel is something that is covered. The purpose of including mergers and acquisition and valuations and project finance in the program is to ensure that you can, target multiple profiles. You could get into a credit profile also. You can you apply for a valuation profile also. You can look for an investment banking profile also. So across the spectrum, if you're trying to apply for multiple profiles, I think you should have the skill sets necessary to apply for those things. Just a preview of what type of case studies do we have. So, when you get the content, you will typically find sheets or graphs, and this is a simple preview of the course material that you have. You will have to do a lot of calculations around the different case studies that you have. You have to present dashboards for it, and charts, obviously. Now, reiterating the point why this program is important and why I think a lot of you should look forward from the program perspective. Prerequisite, a lot of recruiters nowadays want you to come with financial modeling as a skill set. 10 years ago, this was an optional thing, but nowadays it's more or less become mandatory. You should also know how to value companies across the range, right? From IPOs to FPOs. We have a Zomato listing today. How do you value Zomato today? Or how do private equities value when they put money into a company like Swiggy? So you should have those necessary skill sets or the background on these valuations before you head for your interviews, obviously. Business decision making, business modeling practices, all of them implemented on Excel. Because we would be talking a lot of debt schedules. So from a banking perspective, do you know how to model debt on an Excel sheet? What is the loan amortization schedule? How do you calculate the principal, interest and EMI payments on a loan? If you're looking at the project finance, how do you appraise that project? What are the risks associated with the project? Is political uncertainty a risk from a project finance perspective? And if yes, how do you evaluate that risk? How do you evaluate the viability of the project? So some of these pointers would be part of your discussions when you are going through your classroom programs. Benefits, as I said, largely from a corporate career perspective, and eventually if some of you want to set up independent shops, independent entities offering valuation services, you can obviously look into these profiles. People like me who I typically run a valuation and advisory firm out of India, so it's extremely important. If I know financial modeling, I can offer independent services to a lot of people using these financial models. So from a recruitment perspective, uh, across the spectrum of finance, core finance, as I said, and should be an added skill set on your resumes. We have talked about this, right? Perfect. Uh, the sample certificate, so it's a BSc certification. It's a collaboration with BSc. So it's a co-branded certification where you have a certificate of participation or certificate of excellence. You get a certificate for financial modeling using Excel, and then you get another certificate for advanced financial modeling. So two certificates co-endorsed by BSc because it's in collaboration with BSc Institute. The certificate of excellence would only be offered if the test is cleared. Okay. So making it very clear, you get a certificate of participation, two certificates, and the certificate of excellence once you clear the test. In terms of EduPristine, let me just try and see if I have Aisha. Aisha, you are here?
Yes, I'm there.
Aisha, you would like to talk about EduPristine?
Sure, I'll take it from you then.
Yep. I'm here, and then I'll take questions, anything if the class has.
Sure, no problem. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. When it comes to EduPristine for financial modeling, as sir have already mentioned that we provide you this program in collaboration with BSc Institute. Okay, so EduPristine is a member of Excellent Global Education, all right, which is a New York listed company. Okay, it's a 3 billion company which obviously is into complete education thing. EduPristine was founded in 2008. Okay, and here we are having a strong existence throughout India. We have approximately 6 cities where we do have a physical centers, and rest other cities we're connected through online coaching. Now, for financial modeling, okay, we would be providing you for 14 days of training program where the training session would be covered on the weekends, that is Saturdays and Sundays. Every session would take place for 5 hours. All right, so we have batches being lined up for you guys, and we have a specific date when the batch starts. You will not only be having the training, all right, once you register with us with EduPristine for your training, we'll be conducting your LMS account, that's learning management system, You have a login ID and password for yourself. In this LMS, you get pre-recorded videos, Excel worksheets to practice. All right. You would be having two certificates, which we would be providing it to you, which would be one a participation certificate and one is an excellence certificate. Sir, can you please just go on the next
Yes,
slide?
ma'am.
Right. And once you are done with the training from EduPristine, that's an initiative taken where we conduct a soft skills session. All right. So soft skill will be more specific on how your resume should look like and interpersonal skills. Right. So these things will be covered up through a session conducted by EduPristine, because once you are done with your training, we also help you out with your placement assistance. So it's the course and guidelines where you have a 24/7 support system, all right, which is your LMS account, wherein you can download your reference materials and you can post your queries. You also would be having your own relationship manager, where if in case you have any operational doubts and issues, you can get connected with the faculty.
Yeah, so I think this is where I should give a background around who covers these training programs for you. Typically, all the 14 days of training would be covered by faculty from the industry. So we are not pure academicians here. We would have industry experience. For example, I come with an experience of around 10 years on valuations and on investment banking. Experience with companies like Deloitte Consulting, working with Tata Consultancy, PepsiCo. So almost all the professionals that you are going to see would have experience, or they would be currently working with some or the other financial services firm with global certification. So, faculties would have a CFA certification or a CA certification. So, CPAs, a lot of them are CPAs and FRM as well. So you typically find not only that the faculties are not only academicians, they are teaching along with a lot of practical insights from the industry. So I think that benefits because you get to hear hands-on experience in terms of what they are typically trying to do. For example, when I teach valuation, I teach students about what I encounter day to day in the valuation industry as challenges, and how do you value new age businesses, whether it's a cryptocurrency business or whether it's a online platform like Zomato. What goes in there? Because books are limited to that extent. But yeah, I think that's where faculty is important. Generally, the EduPristine faculty, the feedback ratings are in front of you. Student ratings have varied on an average. Now, I've been associated with EduPristine for almost 8-9 years, but on an average, this rating is across all trainers that EduPristine has. It's a 4.6 out of a 5 for a 4.7 out of 5 on a rounded basis. Aisha,
Yes, sir.
you want to take placement assistance?
Right. So as I mentioned to you that we have been providing you with a soft skills session where we work on your resume and your interpersonal skills, interview preparations. So once you're done with your training and you give your examination with us, okay, all you have to do is update your resume and send it to the placement team, okay, and then obviously you and the placement team can coordinate with regards to the placement assistance. You guys can also go ahead and check on EduPristine's website, where we have been very transparently mentioned about all the details, the previous placements that we have already done, the recent ones, which student of which course have been placed in which company, right? And on what designation. So all the details are being mentioned on the website where you yourself can go and check the details. So when it comes to EduPristine, it's not only just individual training, but it's corporate trainings as well, where we have provided sessions at KPMG, Bank of America, JP Morgan, Credit Suisse, and many other companies.
Along with companies, I think, as Aisha said, we have also delivered a lot of trainings across premier B schools. Some of them are on the list, obviously. Important to put these points forward because, even as a consumer, if I'm looking for an online training, I would like to understand what are the credentials of the person or the firm providing these trainings. So we have delivered some great trainings at IIMs or ISBs, global business schools such as NUS. So I think just a list of clients that EduPristine has typically focused upon. So I think this is the core of it. In a nutshell, 14 days of training, 5 hours every day, 70 hours aggregate. you would be provided obviously Excel workbooks. All the trainings would be recorded, and you can obviously look at them as and when you want later. Study notes, certification, everything is case study approach. Please remember all the things, whether it's mergers and acquisition, project finance, valuation, would be a case study approach. And you would be able to access all of these things through a learning management system, which would be given to you once you sign up. Support material along with recordings would be available, and fact you can always interact with the faculty on an online or an offline basis. So faculty would be generally available on an offline basis also. To enroll, I think yes, you need to get in touch with EduPristine. Aisha, do you have details around batch? When does it start and stuff?
Yes, sir. We do have an upcoming batch from the 8th of August, which I just mentioned is going to be a Saturday, Sunday batch for working professionals. So the batch is starting on the 8th of August, and we take admissions. It's like first come first serve basis. So the details will be mentioned on the next slide, or you may please note down my official mobile number where you can get in touch with me on the same.
I think that would help, Aisha. If you can drop in your mobile number, they can connect, because
Uh,
we don't have. I don't think there's a counselor number on the slide.
No problem. I'll just spell it out. That's 73049 73142. I'll repeat it once again. That's 73049 73142. 142.
730497342. Here's Aisha's number. So if you wish to connect and have any other further questions, I think Aisha can help. She would be the counselor, obviously, to pick, from the end of EduPristine. I'll open up the forum for questions. Any questions that you have, class, which I can address. Questions from the course content perspective, from the applicability from your perspective. Happy to address.
Please feel free to write down your questions in the comment section if sir can handle and can give you the complete details.
No questions? Hey, perfect. In case you wish to connect, and if it's convenient for you to talk, feel free to reach out to me. I would be available 798-754-5129. So in case you would like to have an offline conversation, I can help you solve your doubts. And then obviously you can connect with Aisha once you have your doubts sorted through me. So available throughout the day. Feel free to dial in if you have any further questions, even after the class. All good. Aisha, anything else?
Sir, I think we have pretty much covered everything, and I think there's no questions coming. So yeah.
We'll close it then.
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for joining in. As I said, feel free to dial in to me if you have course-related issues. If you have logistic issues or registration-related issues, feel free to connect with Aisha. Both the numbers are on your screen, and we should be happy to assist. Thank you. Take care.